Hi guys, it's Alchemano. How's everyone doing? Good, good, good. I hope. Today I am reviewing Marquis De Sade by Etat, Libre. I'm reviewing this one because it's in my top 5 from the brand. I have the bottle. I would not have the bottle if I didn't like it that much. Which has prompted me to think I'm actually going to do my 5 favourites and my 5 least favourites from this brand because I've smelled so many of them. And I think it's worth it because they have such a big range. But anyway, today we're talking about Marquis De Sade. It's actually called Attaque le Soleil, Attack the Sun, Marquis De Sade. Was it Marquis De Sade? Anyway, this fragrance came out in 2016, and what makes this fragrance interesting is that it is a single note fragrance, which is kind of rare. You don't see that ever. I don't know if they've said it's a single note fragrance and then put other things to support it, but anyway, a bit about the fragrance and the man himself. So the Marquis De Sade, really famous guy, spent 32 years of his life in prison. He's known for many, many things. He's a philosopher, writer, but the main thing is, he is the guy that started sadism, or S&M, sexual craziness. He wrote a lot of erotic things, a lot of pornography, all intertwined with kind of pain and badness. Yeah. This guy was the real deal, man. Oh my gosh, like, what the hell? But yeah, so this is about him. This is Etat Libre's tribute to him, I guess. And the one note of this fragrance is labdanum. The reason they've chosen labdanum, I'm guessing, is because labdanum creates a leathery feeling in fragrances. So it's kind of a nod to that. The kind of leather, maybe whips, kind of sexuality thing that this guy was all about. But also, the perfumer Etienne made this because he said that he always shies away from labdanum. Sorry, the perfumer is Quentin Bisch. Etienne is the owner of Etat Libre, and he is the one that's always shied away from labdanum. Correction. And he always covers it with vanilla and makes it into amber. So he wanted to celebrate it and just have it laid right out on the table. And I'm glad they did. Because I remember the first time I smelled labdanum, I said in my head, gosh, I would wear this on its own if I could dilute it enough and figure out how to make it. And I don't need to because this fragrance exists. Yay. So, labdanum. Labdanum is a resin. It's listed as a lot of different things all over the place. The plant is actually called rock rose, and it's also known as cistus. So if you ever see the word cistus listed in a note list, they're talking about labdanum resin. It is beautiful. It's dark. It's actually part of the amber accord. It's what gives amber, the amber recipe, its resinous feeling. And it's great. They normally pair labdanum with vanilla and patchouli to create amber. If you've never smelled amber before, a good example of it is Shalimar by Guerlain. That's a huge ambery fragrance and a real famous one. So if you smelled that, you will know what amber smells like. Also, fun fact about labdanum, they used to get the resin from goats, actually. Goats used to nibble on the rock rose shrubs and the resin would come off on their beards and then they would get the resin off of their beards. I think they extract it a different way now because you can't just wait for a goat to come along and just, you know, wait for its beard to catch the resin. They do it a different way now, but they used to do it that way, which I think is really interesting. But for now, what does this smell like? There's only so much you can say about the way labdanum smells, but I really enjoy wearing this for sure. Gosh. So labdanum to me has many, many facets, and that's why I think you can wear it on its own. It is ambery, of course. It is, to me, sometimes it feels like church incense. It's kind of in the same realm as myrrh, if you've ever smelled myrrh before. It's a dark, deep, brooding type of resin, which is kind of exotic and incensey. It also feels leathery sometimes as well. And it's got a really lovely sweet tang as well. So it's all of those things at once. And when I wear Marquis De Sade, this labdanum behaves different all the time. Sometimes when I'm wearing it outside and I get a waft of it from myself, I get that powdery tinge that you get from amber, just at the tail end of the sniff, shall we say. But mainly this feels kind of smoky and a very deep dark resin that is wearable and feels very autumnal and wintry. And I love that it's just this in a perfume because I didn't have to make it myself. I can just wear this one. Yay. So yeah, it feels to me like the core of most Oriental fragrances spliced out and kept on its own. So like I said, it's part of the amber recipe. Amber is normally vanilla, patchouli and labdanum, but perfumers switch it out sometimes. There are modern versions of amber or different takes on it, but that's kind of like the classic amber recipe. So if you like amber and you like the resinous side of amber, smell this, because this is the core of what amber is, and it's kind of like the backbone of what Oriental fragrances are built around. And being a fan of Orientals, I'm a huge fan. So yeah, I lavish myself with this. It's one that I just really like to spray a lot of because, I don't know, I like the smoky warmth of it. But that's all I can say really about the way it smells. This is a little bit more of a, I guess, labdanum, slightly educational video as opposed to a fragrance review. But, you know, it's a single note fragrance. It's not really a perfume as such. But labdanum is so great. Wear it on its own in this fragrance. Of course, it's a single note, so it's very linear. There is not a huge development. There's just a lot of different facets that come out of it while you're wearing it. It's not something that develops. What happens is, it's dry on my wrist here. When it gets to about 6 or 7 hours, there's a slight transparency that comes into it, but it always remains deep and dark. It just loses a little bit of its richness, but for me, that's when it's time to reapply. Just get more of it on yourself. I've already used quite a bit of mine and I've only had my bottle for a little while. But now that it's getting colder, I'm on it. So yeah, I think 7 hours is a good wear length of this. That's kind of how much I get out of it when I wear it. And I do spray quite a bit, admittedly. But that's it. I hope you liked this video. Try out this fragrance. If you want to get it, go to natino.co.uk. They sell it there. I will post a direct link below. For now, I'm out Mono, trying to make the world smell better, one video at a time. And now it's time to lavish myself and almost sprayed it up my nose. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.